Hi guys, Liam here from Hydro Underwater Hockey. In this video we're going to be talking about flicking the puck, or you might call it passing or shooting the puck. So let's just get into it. This is a little still in a video of someone about to pass a puck, and I basically froze this. Forgive the fact that the camera's a bit off, but if we remember that this is the pool tiles, then what we want to look at first is the angle of the hips, which you can just see is kind of hip to hip, that kind of angle, and the angle of the shoulders, which shoulder to shoulder is that kind of angle. And what they both do is they basically mean that essentially the chest and the hips are facing towards the puck in the setup position before you pass. And if we run on a little bit more, let's just see through the pass first. And we go back. And now if we just freeze frame through, here we've got that angle that we're talking about, the hips and the shoulders. And then at the start of the pass, you watch the hips change first. The hips snap there. So you can see now the hips are at this angle and the shoulders are still relatively straight. So basically what's happening is the hips are snapping and twisting, and then the shoulders are twisting afterwards. And if we keep on going another couple of frames, now you can see them, the whole body is now facing over this side. So basically the whole body's twisted, and that twisting is where you get all the power from your pass. So it's really important that this setup position has got the shoulder as high as possible, so that you've got a lot of room. That shoulder can drive down and the body can twist and drive that shoulder down to generate power. If you're starting your pass with your shoulder down here, which a lot of people can do, then you're actually cramping that shoulder, and the shoulder has only got a certain amount of room to move, and your pass is going to suffer as a result. Let's just keep on going with the vid. We won't talk about backflips yet. I think we did another front pass, and we'll have a look at this one. No, we don't. There we go. So if we just pause it and pause it, we can see exactly the same thing. So you got your hip and your shoulder, and here you can see the hips popped and the shoulder hasn't quite yet. And if we go on another frames, we can see that shoulder drop right down, and as it's basically as the body twists and forces the shoulder down, that forces the arm through, and that's what gives you all your power. So down goes that shoulder, and the power goes into the puck. So what's that similar to? It's a lot similar to someone throwing a tennis ball, or punching, like karate punch or a boxing punch, where you basically snap your the power comes from your legs through the floor, snap your hips, and then snap your shoulders, and then the punch comes at the end. Exactly the same thing. Or a shot putter, it's doing exactly the same thing, because we have to push this heavy puck. You've got to have a lot of force to do it, and that's the most force that our body can basically generate one-handed, and that's what's going on. So here's another one, and let's just look quickly at a pass which actually isn't working. So basically you can see the same loose setup position with hips and shoulder. It's kind of, I think because the body's actually facing a funny direction and trying to pass over this way. This is a terrible example to use, or what? I don't know. Oh, you can still see, okay, so you can see your shoulders here. Once that shoulder drops, and this pass is going absolutely terribly wrong. unplugging that one, but it is, trust me, it's terrible. Just look at it in real time. You can see kind of the puck went all over the place. It's because basically didn't get enough spin on it. So the more spin you can put on the puck, the more stable it's going to be, and the more it's going to have that nice hanging position. So let's have a little look side on. So if we just look for the same things to happen. So with our setup, we've got shoulder high, hip high on the puck side, and then as we get into the pass, you should see these legs kick a little bit, and you should see that side of the hip drop a little. And there's the hips dropped. See the shoulders nearly dropping, and then you see the shoulders dropped and the whole body's sort of rolled over, and then goes the pass. So let's have a look back the other way. The stick that I'm using here is the Wombat 285. It's got a 10-degree bevel on it, but it's quite a big meaty stick. It's got a lot of surface area around the hook, so it means that you've got to slide the stick through the water as much as possible and try not to move against that surface area, which means that a flat pass is the best pass for the stick pretty much all the time. So you can see it in this pass if you just kind of watch how high up the stick comes. It kind of stays quite low, and believe it or not, I'm actually trying really hard to make the stick touch the tiles all the way through the pass. It feels like that's what I'm doing when I'm passing it, but obviously it's not what's actually happening, but that's what I'm trying really hard to do, to keep that stick nice and low. And you can sort of tell by the way I've been able to, I don't actually realise that it comes up that much. I'm sort of trying to hold it down there after I pass it, just keep it down near the tiles. So it's a flat pass. And this one here, this is sort of accentuating a flat pass as well. This is a Pixie, this stick. It's a lot smaller, it's like a forward stick. You can do a flat pass with it, but you can also do more of a wind-up pass and more of a motorcycle throttle kind of action with your wrist, because the surface area is so small that the water will let you kind of flip your wrist up quickly like that, and you won't sacrifice much speed. Anyway, so if we have a look at the, well, let's just watch it first. If you can kind of see, just, you know, imagine that I'm trying really, really hard to keep that stick touching the tiles all the way through the pass. See the stick, like it rides up off the tiles, and then that's it coming down to where I thought I was trying to keep it the whole time, nice and flat. And we may as well, while I'm looking at that, may as well look at those other things. So we can probably see the same thing happening. We've got high hip, high shoulder, and then as we run through, see the hip drop, shoulder drop, and then the pass goes. So this pass with the same stick is sort of more of a standard pass, like I call it a wind-up pass. So if you watch the stick in the same way, forgive the terrible body position because I'm kind of floating on the surface, but same stuff's going on hips and shoulders, despite the fact that a foot off the bottom. But if you look at the stick comes like well up off the ground and then stays up off the ground, because I'm actually trying to give it a bit of a motorcycle throttle. And it might seem like not a big distinction to make, but it's real. Anyway, so different passes. So let's have a look at it from the side on again. This is the Pixie. You can kind of see by the way that, you know, the stick came right up. I was really trying to accentuate that throttle action because the Pixie is so small and it'll let me. That was a rubbish pass. Yep, I can see it. Hurry up. And Pixie is that's a 10-degree bevel as well, so it's quite it's a steepish bevel, but not too steep, and gives quite a lot of loft, more than some of the other sticks that that we make. So I'll just jump back to this pass here, where you're not in the standard body position here. So we're going to chuck a pass, but we're sort of turned around, and it's hard to see, but basically exactly those same things with the hips and shoulders are happening here as well. So you'd probably be able to see it in the shoulder, but it's very hard to pick up in the hips from this position. So just as the pass comes, you can see the shoulder drop and that shoulder go up. So the torso is still twisting in exactly the same way to get that power into the pass. So we'll just have a look at a side pass in exactly the same way. We should see the same kind of mechanics going on. So again, we're watching the hips and the shoulders, but this time we go to the pass, it's going to come directly sideways from the body. And if we just do a little slow-mo, we should be able to see those hips. Hips pop there, and now the shoulder drops, goes from all the way up here to all the way down there, and you can kind of see the torso's done that same twisting motion to try and give that power. That's about it for this vid. Try to keep it as short as possible, or just break it off there, and we'll cover back flicking in a separate video. Cheers.